G'day and welcome back to the garage. In previous episodes of the RM250 build, the triple clamps and bearings were removed from the frame. In this episode, the hydro-blasted clamps and new stem bearings will be fitted to the bike. Let's get started. The last parts of the steering system to be removed were the stem bearing outer races, so these will be the first parts to be reinstalled. The manual calls for a special tool to do this job, which I don't have. But it's not a complicated part, and it's probably something I can make myself. It works by using a piece of threaded rod and a dummy bearing that fits in each race. When the assembly is tightened up, it pulls the races into the frame. And after a basic sketch and some trigonometry, I've got enough information to start making the dummy bearings. Here I'm making the adjustment to machine the taper of the bearing. Hopefully my trigonometry isn't too rusty. And a test fit shows that my angle calculation was spot on. So now all that's left to do is to drill a 16mm hole through the centre and then part off the completed dummy bearing. And there it is, one dummy bearing. Now I just need another one exactly the same. A couple of M16 nuts and washers make up the kit, along with a long piece of threaded rod. Off camera, I machined the threads off one end in preparation for the milling machine, where I machined 4 flats so it can be held by a spanner. And that's it, a head stem bearing race installation tool, just like the one in the manual. Just like I mentioned earlier, the dummy bearings sit inside the races and the whole assembly is tightened up, driving the races into the head stem. With the races now installed in the frame, the lower bearing needs to be fitted to the steering stem. This is an interference fit, so heating the bearing helps with the installation. So this is a good excuse to heat up some lunch at the same time. And with the help of the press, the bearing goes on easily and without any damage. I'm going to reuse the washer and lock nut, but they can't go on the bike looking like this. So first they are sandblasted, and then they get zinc plated, a process covered in an earlier episode. And with all of the parts ready to go, the bearings are greased and everything is assembled for the last time. Now all that's left to do is to install the fork clamp bolts and fit the brake cable guide to the lower triple clamp. And that's the steering system complete. Look out for the next episode where the front forks will be rebuilt and installed. Thanks for watching. See you next time.